MLB The Show had possibly one of the biggest content drops today with the new Aaron Judge program, monthly awards program, and a new banger event. We're gonna go through all of the content today and talk a bit about this guy right here, Aaron Judge, and go through how good the cards are and see if they should be making your teams. First, we gotta talk about the king, Aaron Judge. Basic other program like you would have with other players in the game like Griffey and David Ortiz and so on. So yeah, so you get 36 stars on the moments. You do this PXP mission, that'll get you to 42. Then if you do these individual missions where you tally these stats, you get up to 62, which is the amount of stars you need to get Judge. If you end up doing the exchanges, I think that'll skip you out on one of these missions. So I would say the stolen bases are the one that is worth skipping because 16 stolen bases isn't really that fun to get. For these stats like doubles, hits, home runs, just stack your team with Yankees to get that PXP. Then do play versus CPU against the Rockies as the away team, so you can try to stack them up in an inning, or do some mini seasons against the CPU at like a really easy to hit park like my field, Bing Bong Field. You can download it on the vault. You can tally those stats very easily. But we gotta talk about Judge. Looking at the attributes, max power versus both sides, max contact versus right, 107 versus left is viable. Like, it's very solid for right now. It's not incredible though. But gotta remember, when you have the reverse splits, there is still the benefit, you know, being a righty versus a lefty. So, you know, it's not the biggest deal to have the worst attributes versus the left, in my opinion. But you got some quirks that'll help boost him up a bit. You know, Road Warrior, Night Player are gonna help make that PCI a little bit bigger in those scenarios. Dead Red and Breaking Ball Hitter will help him square up more balls, from my knowledge. He's gonna be a solid outfield choice, and he's gonna maintain diamond fielding in all of the secondaries too, which is nice to see. But it makes me wonder, is there a possibility at another Judge? I really don't know. But this card is really fun and dope. I'm excited to use him on my God Squad. Definitely a better play in right field, but if you have solid fielding corner outfielders, you can definitely get away with using him in center, especially at a high parallel. Then we have our monthly awards, and you guys know how this goes. You have your tops now, complete all of the tops now moments, and you get to the 80 stars. Then if you want to make progress in the program, what I recommend doing is grinding out the PXP for the 3 players you get in the first 3 packs. Then as you complete their PXP missions, sell them, and then pick up another player off the market. You're basically just exchanging them. You can complete more PXP missions that way without having to lose subs, really. You just work your way through the program and do the same with the 99 overalls. Just make sure you have 5 players in your inventory by the time you get to this pack. Then you can skip up to get Soriano and such, and, you know, finish up those PXP missions to get Bo. But to go through the individual players in the packs, first we have the 98 overall pack. If you want the rundown very quickly, Eloy, Quintana, Semien, Seth Brown probably aren't making a majority of teams. Just no real place for their attributes at the current point in the game. Definitely more so of a theme team type card, but that's not a bad thing. It's good to have options and fun cards for our theme teams. Camilo Doval and Jose Alvarado are going to have more viability being top tier relievers. So looking at the attributes, Doval's got great hits and Ks for 9. Actually not bad in the control front. If you've not used him ever in this game, has Aaron Loop's release, I'm pretty sure, in the current game. Aaron Loop, he'll just get that quirky submarine release. So having Doval with velocity from that release is always a very good thing. With an outlier cutter, he's gonna be like, in my opinion, a better Emmanuel Clase. He's gonna have a sinker, cutter, slider. Mixed 3 pitches are really the ones that matter. Might not be the hardest pitcher to hit because you don't have that much change of speed, but if you get that primary slider, you can throw it very often. So I think this is gonna be a top righty in the game. Maybe not as good as Mariano Rivera, but will be very good. Like I mentioned with Eloy, good power, not bad contact, not bad defense. He's just gonna make teams right now. Jose Alvarado's got sinker, cutter. That's the big thing that makes him good. Stacked in the hits and Ks for 9. And the fact that he is a lefty reliever, we don't have many lefties. You're someone who's using like Gregory Soto and want another option still, try Jose Alvarado. Downside is I don't know how good the 12-6 curve will be. Not the most ideal breaking ball to have in the pitcher, but I think he could still be effective with just sinker, cutter, and then spraying in those 12-6 curveballs maybe in the zone to mess with your opponent's timing. And again, he has outlier on the sinker. Jose Quintana isn't great. A little low in the Ks prime at this point in the game. Pretty solid on the other attributes. He just kind of has a basic pitch mix. I guess if you're someone who's a real big Cards fan, you can get away with using him. Marcus Semien looks like a card that released like 4 months ago. Like, not that he's a bad card. You know, Semien's always a fun hitter. he just doesn't bring that much hitting to the table. 101, 107, 95, 85 is very mediocre. So like, I don't picture many people wanting to use him, unfortunately. And then Seth Brown, 98 overall, good power versus right, not bad versus right. I could actually see people using him as a bench bat if you don't have many players, but again, just not enough hitting to really be warranted to use right now. As we work our way to the 99 overalls, we've got Blake Snell. Good on the attribute side, like the hits and Ks for Ryan are pretty respectable, but it's just one of those pitchers that doesn't have the best pitch mix. You know, one fastball, changeup, slider, curveball. It's tough to pitch with in my personal opinion. Like you might be able to get away with it if you like the pitch mix, but I don't know. I feel like he's not going to be a top pitcher. Carlos Correa boosted cards are usually really sick. I don't think this card is going to be used that much. There are so many really good 99 overall shortstops like Jimmy Rollins, Barry Larkin, and now 99 Bo Bichette within this program. I just don't see many people wanting to use Correa. Like 109 and 90 versus right isn't bad. It's usable, it's tolerable, but it's not incredible enough to warrant using this card over others. But I don't know. I mean, Correa's always a fun card. His swing always plays nice, so I think he could be a solid shortstop, but I guess it leaves room open for potentially like a finest returning from previous years or a finest for this year. I don't know what they would do. The pick in this pack, I think, is without a doubt Eduardo Escobar. One of the best switch hitters in the game right now. Good contact versus right. More of a contacty type hitter versus right, but definitely more of a power hitter versus left. If you did not use the Topps Now Eduardo Escobar earlier on in the year, this is basically an upgraded version of that, and you'll be able to play him nearly anywhere. At this current point in the game, like, those hitting attributes are actually pretty solid. Like, they remind me a little bit of like what Nick Swisher is. But what makes Eduardo Escobar valuable is he's a switch hitter that can play anywhere. If you don't have the best team ever, you could slot him in wherever he is necessary. Second base, short, third, outfield. It's really nice to have. Then 99 Soriano is also out today. I've mentioned it a little bit in the tier list Tuesdays, but his defense that he's bringing is really the thing that sets him apart, in my opinion. He's gonna have diamond defense wherever he plays, especially at second base and center field will be the two positions where I think he's most valuable, but he's gonna mash righties and still be pretty solid versus left with 102 and 112. So I think this will be a nice outfield option, especially in center field if you don't have Andrew McCutchen or want to mix it up from Kutch. He will be very good out there. And then last but definitely not least, Bo Bichette Lightning card is actually nasty. Gets a few quirks, which helps him a little bit. You know, homebody, day player, nice active quirks. But you look at the attributes. 125 and 125 versus lefties. That's as good as you're going to get in this game at shortstop. And no other shortstop is even close to that level of contact and power versus left. 119 and 107 versus right is basically just on par with like the Barry Larkins and Jimmy Rollins of the game. Honestly, I think it's better than both of them, from my knowledge, if I remember correctly, at least on the mix of both of them. He's got gold defense, which is enough at shortstop with 95 arm. So he's going to make a lot of plays with that level of speed and arm strength. So definitely the more offense first shortstop and probably the best hitting shortstop in the game in the current moment. I don't think the other shortstops are bringing that level of contact and power. And then you can get all these packs in the program, including the Juicy Set 2 packs. And these cards are very solid. May have been quickly replaced on many people's teams. Like guys like Hannes and Tom Seaver are solid, but not must uses. So I'm interested to see how these packs will go for people. It's always valuable to get these packs, especially while the players are expensive. Last but definitely not least, we have a new event as well for the monthly award, so you can use the monthly award players in this event to get that PXP. We have a Noah Syndergaard, who is always a fun pitcher. Never the best by any means, because he's usually lower on like the hits per 9, and it's definitely the case in this card, but 98 isn't bad to pair with an outlier sinker. What makes Syndergaard really good, and this card especially fun, he can hit. That's 66 and 83 contact and power versus right. That's actually very good for a pitcher. So, you know, if you want a very fun card to use on your team, this card is going to be it. I think this is a very sick card. And then there's a 99 Bryce Harper. Harper is always one of the favorites to drop each year. I don't know if this will be his last card. I don't think it will be. I think like a retro finest Harper could be very much in the mix. Also just a finest in general because he had a really good year this year. But 115 and 125 power is great. 102 and 110 contact is solid. He's got the reverse splits. Not a must use in your outfield by any means. But he's going to be a very good option in the corner outfield with that 90 fielding especially. So I think he's going to be a very fun one. Again, he doesn't have any active quirks, which kind of hurts him a little bit, but I think this will be a top corner outfield option, especially in right field. And then in terms of the updated schedule, we have the new program coming out on the 7th on Friday. That'll have a lot of new cards to use on teams. Supercharged postseason cards. So they're going to supercharge players based on how they do in the postseason. A lot like, you know, we probably had in the early part of the year, like the first game of the year for everyone where one person in the game got supercharged. I could see that type of thing happening for the postseason. And then likely those players get a postseason card in that postseason program that is not limited in time. They can complete it anytime with a bunch of really stacked postseason cards. So I'm excited for that. It's gonna be very fun to see how that goes. October is always pretty fun for content. So yeah, those are my thoughts on all of the content that we got today. I know there are a lot of very good players to use, but at this current point in the game, there are a lot of options, the monthly awards. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of the content drop that we got today? I'll be uploading more gameplays throughout the rest of the week, debuts and initial looks at Aaron Judge and some of the monthly awards, and then the rest of the juicy set 2-pack players. So make sure you are subbed to the channel to check that out. But I appreciate you all watching. I will be gone for the weekend. Head out to San Diego for TwitchCon, so won't be streaming then. But I'm going to be keeping tabs on how good these cards are and prepping to see how they do on next Tier List Tuesday. So you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all again in the next video tomorrow. Deuces.